this really segues beautifully into another pshat of Ramesha. Because we know the Torah continues, and Avram Avinu gives you kachna ma'atamayim, take a little bit of water. The whole story we know, right? And we also know Rashi. That Rashi says that which Avram Avinu did himself, Hashem in the future will do himself. That which Avram Avinu did al yidei shliach, he told Lenar to Rutz to go and run and to bring the Ben Abakar. Hashem is going to give through a shliach. Okay, very simple. Says Ramosha, Anoshim Toyim. People make a mistake. Okay. So Ramosha Feinstein just told us a mistake that we all make. And probably if they made this mistake, Bisman Ramosha, we probably haven't gotten better. People make the following mistake. And they think, and this is literally a first cousin of everything we just spoke about. When you do a mitzvah between man and friend, what is the main part of the mitzvah? Says Ramosha, Hatachlis. The goal. Hu ha'ikr. You need something. I gave it to you. The ikr is that you got what you need. Back to our mashal of the collector. He needed $100. He got a call. Someone gave him $100. He didn't come to your front door. So the tachlis is, what's the goal? That's the ikr. The goal is he got his $100. Ve'in chilik, and there's no difference. Who cares how that yid got his $100? He got his money. Who cares how you get what you need? Make a difference if I give it to you? Does it make a difference if you get it elsewhere? You got it, right? There's no difference. Says Ramosha, that's a mistake. Aval inokin. The etzem ha'pa'ula, the action who gamkin mitzvah. Now Ramosha is saying something so simple yet so deep. Let's just restate what he just said. Of course, mitzvah is between me and God. We know that the mitzvah, the avenue of doing it is important because that's what a mitzvah is. Of course, when I daven, the tefillah is important, regardless of the outcome, because it's between you and Hashem. When I shake a lulav, the shaking the lulav is important because it's between me and God. But we think, says Ramosha, when it's a mitzvah between me and you, so now the way that it happens, who cares? You needed money, you got it. You needed a chesed, you got it. I drove by you on the side of the road. Someone else is changing your tire. Dick, I'll snap the picture and send it into MKY, and that's it. I don't got to get myself wet in the rain. Because we think that the tachlis, the result, is the ikr. It says Ramosha, it's not true. The pu'ula is the ikr. Ulechein tzarich lasois be'atzmoi. You have to do it yourself, unless someone else could do it quicker. And that's what Avram Avinu teaches us. That when someone else can do it quicker than you, Avada, what are you doing? The guy is sitting there, and that goes back to what we said before. Don't make him your mitzvah. He's sitting there in the rain, and you say, oh, I'm going to go change a tire. I don't know how to change a tire, and I'll probably take 2 hours. And there's another guy there that could do it in 4 minutes. But no, if someone else could do it quicker, of course you let him do it. But if you could do it in the same way that he could do it, says Ramosha, such a simple idea that even mitzvah is being adam l'chaveiroi, even mitzvahs to man and his friend, it's not only the result. The vehicle is certainly important. The conduit, the way that it happens. And if we think about it, it's pashut, because that's the mitzvah. What's the mitzvah of chesed? What's the mitzvah of helping another person? The mitzvah is doing the action. It's true, there's the result that you got what you needed. But the mitzvah is that. And therefore, says Ramesha Feinstein, obviously, that it's a terrible mistake to think, oh, you got what you need. The Torah teaches us. Avram Avinu did things on himself. Hashem does it for us for in the future. That which he had to do through a shliach, Hashem will do through a shliach. So we just have to think about that, and we have to realize that how often are we, again, go back to our mashal, we breathe a sigh of relief when the guy doesn't come to us, or maybe hey, I'll send someone to help you. I'll send a message and he'll help you and he'll do it. And, we sort of like bounce everyone off of us, and we feel good that, what do you mean? You needed something and you got it. We have to realize that even mitzvahs being adam lachaveiroi, even mitzvahs, of course it's pashit, when it's mitzvahs between us and Hashem. But even mitzvahs between Adam and Vayeira, Ramesha Feinstein is teaching us a simple idea. Sometimes the most simplest ideas are the hardest ideas. As sometimes when we're told something so simple, we say, "Oh, come on, give me some real Torah." Well, why do we say that? Because the simple things penetrate, and we easily have to ask ourselves the question: how often do we say, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll roll up my sleeves," or do we say, "No, someone else has it. Someone else is taking care of it. I don't have to get involved." So Ramesha is teaching us two pashit, obvious, simple lessons, yet lessons that we have to remind ourselves. Firstly, that when it comes to a chesed, we have to want to do it even when there's no chiyuv at all. We have to have a desire. We have to become people that just want to do good. And the more that we want to do good, it will result in point number two that we're talking about. Point number two that we're talking about is that we won't just want the guy to get what he wants. Of course, I want the poor people to have money, and I want that person to have a shidduch. I want that person to have a foolish lema, and I want that person to find the job. What am I going to do about it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean? The conduit, that is the mitzvah. And the more that we work on doing things, not because of any altruistic reason, not because of any side reasons, but for one reason only, that we want to do what's right. We want to do a chesed. And so much so, even when it's not a mitzvah, Ramesh is teaching us, b'siyata d'shmaya, Siyat Shmaya will be able to do it. And we'll end with the words of Rav Schwab. The Rav Schwab comes along and he talks about light, and we could see such a contrast when we look at light and we look at Avram Avinu. We've talked about Avram Avinu doing a chesed when there's no chiyuv. Of course, the whole story we didn't tell over. He just had a bris. He's 99 years old. Probably should be lying in bed. Okay, well, whatever. He's Avram Avinu. We don't have to worry about that part. But we just focus. Okay, fine. But he wants to do a chesed so much so that he wants it Shabbos to be on a Tuesday. Givaldik. What's the flip side? We have light. When we look at the pasuk says that the light took his rechushai, took his possessions, and light is the relative of Avram Avinu. Says Shimon Schwab, the pasuk is structured incorrectly. The pasuk should first say light. Who's this guy called light? He's a relative of Avram Avinu, and then tell us about his money. Says Rav Schwab, this was Light's downfall. Light got money. He got money. And what happened? He became a shtick gelt. That's what he was. He lost his identity of Avram Avinu. Just imagine. If you think about any of our Gedalim, imagine that Gadol was your father, was your uncle, was your brother. And what happened? You made $1 million, and I'm a millionaire. I also happen to be related to Rochain Kanievsky. You fool. But says Rav Schwab, that's what happened to light. And of course, that's what happened to light. And of course, unfortunately, we look around, and of course, we don't want to look in the mirror, so we'll look at everyone else, and we'll say how we see everyone else, who they get chopped up, whether it's money, whether it's any of the other stupidities and vanities of the world that we get chopped into. And we forget the greatest things that we have, whether it's a relative of Avraham Avinu, whether it's the fact that we learn, whether it's the fact that we daven, whether it's the fact that we do chesed, and we associate ourselves more with the Gashmias, more with the, we'll just call it a stupidity, whatever that is, the geld, the money, whatever it is. And then, I also do that. So we have to reorient ourselves, and we look at such a stark contrast, and we see what you could become. You could be Avram Avinu, wanting to do chesed when there's zero chiyuv. You want it to be a Shabbos on a Tuesday morning. Avram Avinu realizing the conduit is the mitzvah, or we could become a light. We get chapped up by the money, chapped up by everything else in the world. And of course, the Yetzer Hara is vast and the Yetzer Hara is great. But hopefully, just hopefully, the first step is to realize, is to look and to see that contrast. And we're all young enough to say, wait, am I on that path to end up like, I don't want to say it, like a light? Like a light that one day I'll wake up and there'll be money, there'll be this, there'll be that. And there'll also be, by the way, he's a relative of Avram Avinu. By the way, he also is a from Yid. By the way, he also is this. Or are we Avram Avinu that we love chesed so much? We love mitzvah so much. How do we love it? It's hard. And we have to work in it. And that's the life's goal. Is that we have to ask yourself which path we're on. Siyata d'shmaya, we'll get there. Shkoyach,